Gemini, this is your October monthly intuitive reading. If you are Gemini Sun, Rising or Moon, then it may resonate for you. If you're returning to the channel, thank you so much, and if you're new, then welcome. Please do go ahead, drop me a like and a comment if the reading resonates for you, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future updates from me. We are going to be covering the month of October, and then there is going to be the opportunity for you to go ahead and purchase the extended reading. We are going to basically go into a deeper narrative around what comes up in the general, and we'll also look at some specific messages for those of you in relationships, looking for somebody, those that are focused around work, and then also a message to soothe your soul and help you navigate through the energies that are coming up in October, Gemini. So thanks so much for being here and for your support. You can also find me at my website, romywyser.com, on Facebook, Instagram and Patreon. Thanks for tuning in, and let's go ahead and get started and see what's coming out in October for you. Hey Gemini, okay, let's go ahead and get started and see what's coming out for your October intuitive reading. So we are in Libra season, which is 5th house activity for you Gemini. So a real focus at the moment around romance, creativity, how you can harmonize your world. This energy should feel a little bit lighter for you. And the new moon that's coming in on September 28th, really opening the gateway into October for you to feel more inspired around these areas. Okay, so we are beginning your reading, Gemini, with 7 of Wands energy. So it is suggesting that you are ready, I believe, to assert yourself and to stand up for what it is that you want and what you believe in, and be quite unafraid to express that. And, you know, this is about you honouring your needs now and really moving into a space that says, I need to create harmony and balance around me, right? We're in that Libra energy, and we had the equinox on the 23rd, which is all about the rebalance and the shift that needed to take place. So for you, Gemini, it's about you feeling a readiness and prepared to, you know, stand up and count for what it is that you need and what it is that you are looking for. And, you know, maybe you're going to have to be quite assertive and quite proactive as we move into this month of October, Gemini. I don't really feel it's going to be a month where you can rest on your laurels. I think that you are going to have to feel ready to take what is coming at you and feel quite courageous and brave to move beyond that and to transcend anything. I think there's a really interesting, you know, whenever we get a 7 coming through, there's always a spiritual link to it, and I think there's an interesting message around you transcending what your ego-based thinking might want to jump in with in any particular situation or experience. And that at this point in the year, with all of the understanding and the wisdom, and remember both Capricorn and Pluto have been retrograde, and Pluto now moves direct on the 3rd of October. Saturn went direct back on the 18th, and they're both retrogrades and still direct in your 8th house. So 8th house of transformation and rebirth, and that sense of real having to do kind of the difficult shadow work, Gemini. But what's come out of it is this absolute innate understanding of who you are, where you see yourself, and what that means in terms of how you want to be perceived. And so I kind of like the quality of the 7 coming in, because in Libra season, where sometimes we can kind of sit on the fence a little bit too much, I feel like there's a message that's saying you need to be brave and stand up and be the one that says, no, this is what I need and this is what it will take. And kind of not take any shit from anybody else either. It just feels like anything that's coming at you, I feel you're going to be more than able to deal with. Okay, so we have Mercury moving into Scorpio on the 3rd of October. Now this placement for Mercury, planet of communication, which is also your ruling planet, Gemini, is a very searching, kind of curious place. And it's quite deep, you know, it likes to observe, it likes to take everything in, and then it's busy making a strategy about what it's going to do with that. So sometimes communication isn't always the most direct, but there's certainly like an inner determined drive to win or succeed. So sometimes it can be a little bit manipulative. And I kind of just feel like there's almost a sense of you needing to be aware of that as we move through October. And also where it might be coming up in yourself in terms of how you're projecting or what's being projected onto you. Because that Seven of Wands can sometimes feel a little bit of a defensive position, right? You feel like you're having to defend yourself against something. Okay, so another 7 coming up, 7 of Swords. So I think, you know, with this quality, we are feeling like there's an aspect of trust coming in. So either we are needing to trust ourselves and needing to trust what we feel is the right thing to do, the right approach, okay? Or perhaps there's a sense of mistrust around a certain situation, or feeling like not all of the details are quite out in the open, to help you make an informed decision or choice. With all these 7s though, I do feel like, spiritually speaking, there's like a divine guidance around the unfolding of things at the moment, okay? But what I would ask is that you question through this month of October, Gemini, you question your motives at every turn. So every choice, every decision that you're making, really call it back, pull it into your solar plexus, you know, that position, that seat of power within you, your inner power. Pull it into your heart center and say, okay, is this in my best interest? Who am I doing this for? Why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? Why am I expressing this? Because I think that there is a beautiful spiritual growth happening for you through this month of October that is helping you to step outside and be the observer into different situations as they unfold around you, to help you make better decisions that are more in alignment with who you truly are, and really helping you to rise above so much of like a lower based vibrational energy that's around you. So you don't have the capacity to be able to decide or influence like what anyone else thinks or says or does, but you absolutely have the ability to decide what triggers you and what your motives and where your intentions are coming from. And when they can come from a place of purity and authenticity, then you can hold your head to the light and just and be proud and own that truth, if that makes sense. So I think there's likely to be situations and experiences that unfold in October that are going to give you the opportunity to show yourself where you have grown in that way. So we have full moon in Aries on the 13th, 14th of this month, and it's in your 11th house, Gemini, for groups, technology projects. So there may be some sort of manifestation coming in around these areas of your life. Maybe this is where you're going to feel triggered, or these themes are coming up for you in these areas. I think that technology has a big part to play for some reason this month, Gemini. And so I think it's really important that what you are communicating is coming forth from a place of truth and honour and integrity, and that you check in with your own moral compass around that, because the ripple effect out to the collective, to the social circle, the groups with which you are moving, and the energy in which you are absorbing and connecting with, are receiving that as an energetic kind of download and imprint. So just make sure that everything in your vibration is as clean and as pure and authentic. Don't get overly caught up in worrying what other people are doing. This is about your personal journey and your spiritual growth. So we have Queen of Cups energy coming in here. Could be a water sign that you're dealing with, Cancerian, Pisces, Scorpio. If this is the embodiment of you, Gemini, I feel you are really intuitively linked in. You might be feeling overly sensitive or emotional about something. And there is almost this sense of like a self-nurturing, like healing quality that's coming in, where I feel that it's important that you do look after your emotional needs and that you're not burning out or getting overly drained by different situations. And it may be that you are, if you are experiencing, I don't know, some challenges, some slightly defensive or hostile kind of environments, that, you know, that will impact on your emotional well-being. So I think this is why they're talking about the need to address how things are triggering you at a deeper level. I think this is a real month of you taking a huge step up in terms of being the passive observer, being the one that can rise above the fray. The Queen of Cups energy is also bringing in a beautiful intuitive flow. So I feel like you are going to be very linked in and connected to the ideas, inspirations and guidance that's coming forth. So regardless of, you know, I kind of get this impression, Gemini, that October might bring some turbulence all around you, and yet inside there's like a quieter calm. There's a calm. So you might be feeling sensitive, you might be feeling emotional, but there is a deeper calm energy that's allowing you to remain quite passive and dealing with triggers in a very different way, which I think is so important. For some of you, you might be feeling overly defensive in relation to a water sign energy, but I feel that there will be an opportunity to readdress that. Libra is all about helping to bring in the balance and the justice with regards to situations. So I do think that that will be addressed for you, okay? And, you know, as we move into Scorpio season on the 23rd of this month, it's into your 6th house activity, okay? So it's all about the self-care, the nurturing, you know, being of service, putting things in order and structure. So it's a time for you kind of to get everything lined up and prepared, to be able to put a full focus on something, Gemini. I think October's bringing in this quality of you trusting where you're being guided, because there's a bigger path about to really unfold and reveal itself, and you have to kind of have everything lined up and ready so that energetically you are prepared for it, okay? So Mars moves into the sign of Libra on the 4th of October. And in Libra, Mars is quite reflective, even slightly procrastinating. There's a need to sort of compromise, there's a need for mediation, there's a need to kind of smooth the waters. But sometimes when you're looking to get that motivation and get going, it can be slightly frustrating. So I want to say don't feel frustrated. Don't move into that false narrative that says nothing's happening, because oftentimes it just takes seeds a little longer just to take root. Okay, beautiful. So we have the Lovers card coming up, which is of course you, Gemini. So for me, right in the center of your reading, this is you feeling the embodiment of your natural essence and your natural energy, okay? I really love the fact that the Lovers card comes in as well as we move into 6th house activity and that structure and order, because the Lovers can also bring in the ability to sort of bring all those systems into place. This is talking to me so much about the relationship with self and this self-love and self-care and nurturing quality that the Queen of Cups is also helping to deliver. I think for those of you in relationships, particularly if it's a water sign coming in, or if this is the embodiment of you, Gemini, There's a very compassionate, loving, gentle, nurturing, healing quality that is emerging through the month of October. And maybe that's something that you've been missing and that you need, or that you are ready to bestow upon somebody else, because you're, in Libra season, you're in that 5th house. There's that romantic element that comes in. And so, for some of you, that's that really beautiful soulmate, deep, profound connection. And almost feeling like a spiritual connection, feeling that sense of, I want to say almost like telepathy between one another. Do you know it? Just like everything is felt and understood, and almost like transcends like the physical realm. There's something very, very spiritual coming in terms of relationships through the month of October. For those of you that are inviting in new connections, I think there's a real possibility of someone coming in on a very high spiritual energy for you this month that will feel very destined and really, there's a real sense of familiarity, I want to say. Okay, beautiful. Ace of Cups energy. So just as we're talking about relationships here, so something is stirring through this month of October. I think for some of you, it's just going to be this absolute renewal and falling back in love with self and putting yourself first and being able to find that amazing ability to just find everything that you need within yourself, okay? And for some of you, new relationships that are coming in, or connections. There's a lot of love coming through in October for you, Gemini. I'm just going to say that, an awful lot of love. And I think you're ready to receive it. You are in an energy where you are looking to fulfill yourself in a different way now, and you are looking for love on a different level. And you are trusting yourself and, spiritually speaking, really understanding your journey in quite a profound way at the moment. Venus moves into Scorpio on the 8th, and Venus in Scorpio wants deep commitment, intensity and connection. It wants to fully feel everything, body, mind and soul. And I think that's what you're looking for, and that's what you, for many of you, will be receiving. Okay, interesting. 5 of Cups energy. So a lot of water coming in through this month of October, and I think there's a couple of messages that come through for me with this card for you, Gemini. I think first of all, there's a recognition that you've dealt with a number of disappointments and challenging, traumatic emotional situations through the past few weeks and months. And you may be feeling that all of this feels maybe a little too good to be true, right? But there is this reminder that even though we have this quality of upset and disappointment and loss, we still have these beautiful cups standing behind you. Maybe you're not quite ready to realize them, and you feel like there's no way over this fast-moving river. Like, how do I actually get to the other side? But you know what? The bridge is in the distance. Like, it's just that you're not seeing any of the solutions that are being presented to you at the moment. So I think it's really important that you recognize that staying in an energy of it's not going to work out, it hasn't in the past, why should it work out this time, is a not trusting. Remember, 7 of Swords energy. If you don't trust and you feel overly defensive and closed off to opportunities or things that are coming into your world, then you're going to block the blessings. You're going to block what wants to come through for you. Okay, so it is giving you a moment in time to really pay attention to where your thoughts are going. And remember, like, how do you become the observer, so that you don't try to second guess where things are going to end up. Okay, so more cups energy, Gemini. Okay, so it's going to be an emotional month. We'll say that for sure. And a lot of sevens coming through as well. So very spiritually enlightened. I think Seven of Cups is, you know, maybe you do feel slightly confused because maybe there's an intensity of a connection or a situation that's coming forth, or a desire for that. But this concern or upset, or, you know, feeling like you just can't see. You can't see how something will materialize or how something will work, throws you into an energy of maybe slightly disillusioned or disenchanted, or just kind of feeling a little bit ungrounded. I mean, there's a real need to ground your energy through this month of October, Gemini. But for me, I have this beautiful message coming in with Seven of Cups of choice. This is about reminding you that there are choices. There are still choices here, right? And actually Lovers is about us also having a choice. So what are you choosing? Are you going to choose a different way? Are you going to choose yourself? Are you going to choose to rise above and to respond in a different way this time, to open up your heart to someone or to something? Are you going to choose to try again because this time it could afford you the success or the breakthrough that you are looking for? So you have the ability to manifest and draw any of these things into your physical life experience. And at the moment, you know, maybe there is a sense of confusion about what it is that you want to draw forward. And maybe you feel like none of these things are really being rooted in your world right now. So there's that earth energies needing to come forward. But you are being presented from Spirit with an array of the things that you think you want, and now is the time to really get clear-minded on what that is. If that makes sense. Okay, so Queen of Wands energy coming through for you, Gemini. This could be a fire sign that you're dealing with. Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, and maybe there's some sense of confusion or disappointment connected directly to the energy of this individual. However, if I look at the embodiment of the Queen of Wands for you, I actually really love the drive and the mastery with which she is presenting herself in the reading today. So she is completely at ease in her domain right now, and all the beautiful green and gold that comes forth is just evident of the abundance with which she is drawing in as a result of her creativity, her passion, her warmth, her vitality, her energy. And so for me, the narrative that's running through this story for you, Gemini, is one that's saying, okay, you know, you might have to stand up and be counted. You might have to, you know, bring in this higher degree of trust within yourself in terms of who you are, and really link in with that intuitive understanding and you know, rebuild this profound, deep, anchored sense of like self-love and compassion to be able to transcend any disappointment, any confusing or challenging situations that present themselves. None of these are going to knock you. You know, they're not stopping you. Queen of Wands energy has that fire and determined quality to be able to create and manifest anything that she sets her heart and soul into. So when we talked about you being presented with all of the opportunities to say, what is it that you want? What do you want to pull down? What do you want to draw in from the universe? Then I love that the energy of the Queen of Wands then shows up to say, okay, you're going to make that happen. You can make this happen for yourself. All right. I think for some of you, maybe with that 7 sneaking in, you know, there could be maybe some element of uncertainty or unsurety connected to fire sign energy. that you have to deal with. And again, I want to reiterate this sense of you needing to, you know, look at how you are triggered and decide that you are going to respond differently this time for yourself. This is about your growth. This is your transformation. Okay, so we're just looking at an outcome card based on October, Gemini, and Six of Pentacles energy coming in is readdressing the balance. There's a fairness and there's a sense of, I want to say, goodwill, or almost like being in a receiving mode for something. So something is coming into you now, whether that be in terms of material, financial, but I do feel that you are the recipient of something favorable and positive. Okay, if this is about relationships, there is a readdressing in the balance that is required, but I also feel that you will see through this month. Okay, so for me it's a beautiful optimistic energy coming in to support not only material gain and advancement, but also just getting a better sense of where you're directing your energy. Beautiful quality of Ace of Pentacles coming in as well. So something is launching, materializing, taking seed, coming into your conscious awareness through the month of October, Gemini. That's really quite exciting. I mean, you've got two ace energies coming in, so there is this sense of renewal and new beginning that's emerging. The new moon in October is on the 28th in Scorpio, and again, it's in your 6th house. So, you know, a lot of the way that you will be of service both to yourself and in society is gaining a boost and a momentum and a beautiful influx of abundance, you know, with that lovely Queen of Wands with Six of Pentacles and Ace of Pentacles. I really love what's coming through for you with that, Gemini. Okay, so I'm just going to pull some oracle cards to see how this reflects in your reading. Unity. Okay, and I think this makes perfect sense as we actually look at the Lovers card as well that comes through. It is a sense of unity, but I think for you, you know, as Gemini, and you deal with that twin energy constantly, that dual nature within yourself that often can be at odds and fighting against, you know, one another, and it can cause that real sense of push-pull within you. But for me, I think October sees a month where you come into harmony with yourself, Gemini, and that creates something really special, really, really special, because then the inspiration and the energy with which you start to vibrate on and emanate is not only drawing in a higher frequency and vibration for you, but it's for the collective. So there's this beautiful quality of you healing and sharing and contributing, and that being of sort of all that 6th house activity that's coming in, but it's coming from a place of self-love and self-renewal first, and there's like a beautiful karmic rebalancing taking place. I love that card for you, Gemini. So the moon cards just give us a timing sometimes with things. Okay, so your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus. Now the full moon in Taurus is going to be coming up in Scorpio season, so we're just around the corner from it. So there is something about you needing, I mean, remember we talked about the lack of kind of grounding that was evident in this reading. There's an awful lot of water coming in. So I think it's important that with the choices that are being presented in the way that you are currently looking to manifest and visualize your heart's desire and what it is that you really want, that you also take some time through October to devise or put in place a practical step-by-step kind of framework, if you like. Not that it needs to be so rigid, because, you know, Taurus can be overly stubborn and fixed in its energy, but there is something about you just needing to kind of pull your energies, ground your energies, so that you actually do the work, and it isn't just all about the idea of something and the expression of something, which is wonderful and so needed. But sometimes, Gemini, with all that air energy, you're kind of floating up there in the stars with so many different ideas. We need to pull those ideas into the full manifestation and realization of them, okay? Okay, celebrate your wins. Really important, I think, when we are talking about a month that is recognizing your spiritual growth and this lovely renewal in terms of how you see yourself, your relationship with self. And you know, last month in your reading we talked a lot about the, you know, you realizing your potential and you're stepping into your power. And you know, this is about you acknowledging all of the realizations, the experiences, and where you've made progress. You know, whether that's in the relationships in your life, whether that's with a relationship with yourself, steps that you've taken to try and improve yourself or your life in some way, the work that you're doing. You have to stop and pause and lift your head up to the sun, Gemini, and remember just how far you've come and where, you know, where you're already achieving and have been successful. Okay. So I hope that's resonated for you, Gemini. If you have enjoyed the reading, please do go ahead and like and drop me a comment. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future readings. Now, we do an extended reading, which is going to be about another 20 minutes or so. And in that reading, we just go a little bit deeper. I'm going to pull some clarifying cards to see what the direction of that reading is going to be. We also look at specific cards for those of you in relationships, those of you that are single. We look at your career specific, and also, you know, as an intuitive guide, I look at how I can help my clients soothe their soul. That's my mantra. So we also look at your spiritual journey and self-growth in that way. So clarifying the Seven of Wands, we have the Hierophant. And the Wheel of Fortune. Interesting. So two major arcana coming in. Very important, actually. I think that Wheel of Fortune has a really interesting message for us. Okay, we have Queen of Coins coming through, which could be an earth sign. Virgo, Capricorn or Taurus that you're dealing with. Queen of Cups, bringing in the Four of Swords. Remember I talked about that need to make sure that you weren't being drained? I feel that message is just being clarified there because there is a need for some time out. Four of Wands. Okay, interesting. So just clarifying that Lover's card. Perfect. Eight of Wands. I'm going to enjoy taking you a little bit deeper into that narrative with King of Coins. Okay, could be an earth sign there, Virgo, Capricorn or Taurus that you're dealing with. Okay, Eight of Cups. Beautiful star energy. Could be an Aquarius also. And I want to hop into the timeline as well, into February for that. Okay, Five of Cups, Temperance. That makes complete sense to me. So we can shed a bit more light on some of these disappointments and conflict that you've been dealing with and why that's taking place, Gemini, in the extended reading. Okay, Seven of Cups, Nine of Coins coming through. And Two of Wands for the Queen of Wands. I'm just going to pull another one there. Four of Coins. And then just our outcome cards. High Priestess energy coming in with the Six of Pentacles. Oh, we had a couple flip there, so I'm going to bring in the King of Wands and the Moon card with our Ace of Pentacles. Okay, Gemini, if you'd like to join me on the extended, you can go ahead, just click on the little arrow that's next to the video description, and it will give you an extended screen where you can see the link to hop onto my website, or you can visit romywyser.com and you'll find a link to purchase the extended. And if not, I wish you a beautiful month of October, Gemini. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel, and I will connect with you again next month. Take care.